All right, the Kodiak Island Borough Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting for Wednesday, February 16, 2022 will now come to order at 6:30 p.m. Have everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remember to silence your cell phones so they don't go off during the meeting. Could we have a roll call, please? Here.
Mr.
Here.
Van Dyke? Mr. Cross?
Here.
Mr.
Here.
Ms. Johnson? Mr. Neff?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Make a motion to approve the agenda for January, February 16th, 2022 regular meeting.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Passes unanimously. Approval of minutes. We have the minutes of the January 19, 2022 regular meeting. As a motion to approve them.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the January 19th regular meeting, January 19th, 2022 regular meeting.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. That passes unanimously. Items for discussion. Item 6A, Parks and Rec Committee volunteers, 2 ex officio members, 1 permanent and 1 alternate. Would the staff care to speak to this?
I do. The clerks called us, and there are 2 vacant positions on the roster for the Parks and Rec Commission, or Committee, Parks and Recreation Committee. We need a permanent member and an alternate member. I'm asking for volunteers. You can decide if you have somebody that you would like to send permanently. It's all up to you. I do know that the Parks and Recs Committee is not meeting right now. We do not have a quorum, but it would be nice if for our part we could put our ex officios on there and at least be doing our part. You just don't have any meetings to go to right now.
I could speak to it briefly. I, many years ago, well, since I've been on the commission, but I served as the P&Z representative to it, and that's actually met Mr. Paulson's father, and I'm claiming that's why I always call him Steve rather than Chris. But it's a very good group. They do good work. Yeah, they meet. They try to meet regularly, but COVID has complicated that. But they were, when I was on, they were working on what they called trail management objectives. And I was just amazed at the people. I mean, it's good to see that, and I admire that they're out there actually hiking the trails and knowing what kind of condition they're in and looking for grants and things like that. So it is a worthwhile service for somebody from the Planning and Zoning Commission, but, I've done my time and I would like to see somebody else do it. So is anybody interested? Yeah. It's not a major additional time commitment, but there is, a meeting. Could be once a month, but they typically don't meet during the summers, or at least they used to not meet during the summer.
Then what kind of things are they looking at when they do that?
Yeah, I don't know what's on their agenda right now. So when I was doing it, they were going through, years ago, the borough paid for a fairly extensive trails map. It's a big brochure.
Okay.
And for instance, they did the Russian Ridge trail system. And they went through it from start to end to identify the sections that were in need of something, be it trail hardening, bridges, things like that.
Yeah.
And the idea being to have that in the event any funding ever became available. And they, yeah,
Push it and hold it way top.
When it's red.
When it's what?
red.
Okay, good. No, it's not red right now. Okay, should I be talking with it on right now?
Yeah, if it's red, that means it's a better recording. There
Okay,
you
there
go.
it is. Yeah, I think I'm interested in that. Yeah, that
Okay.
does sound interesting.
Yeah, all right. Anyone else? So we've got the permanent member now. Do we have an alternate? And the alternate, the idea is if the permanent member can't make it, then the alternate would try to.
Okay.
And it looks like Chris is.
I'll be the alternate.
Wonderful. Thank you both. 'Cause it is, and it's good. Among the reasons for doing it is to give those folks a pat on the back. Because, it's completely volunteer.
Yeah.
And it's a good group of people. All right. Then that brings us down to the communication towers link. We spoke about this.
Do I need to go get it?
We spoke about this a bit last week. Is there additional staff report? Do we need to do anything?
I'm sorry. There is nothing on that one. It is just a link so that you guys can look at it whenever you want.
Mr. Van Dyke? Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just for staff, you talked about reviewing this section of the code next month, and my concerns were around the municipal airport, and they've been addressed. So I don't have any input.
Oh, right on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Roy? Neff?
This, if I'm kind of off the wall of this, go ahead and tell me, but, what about windmill codes? I'm just kind of interested how, that's a tall structure, how does that compare with, communication towers and that sort of things? Like if somebody wanted to have a windmill in their business area or their residential.
Yeah,
Or like a
there's a
smaller-
general height restriction in the residential area, 35 feet. And if somebody wanted to put it, years ago, a fellow on Spruce Cape Road had a windmill. I don't think it was above 35 feet. It was a small one, but if it was gonna be higher than that, they'd have to come in and apply for a variance, or, I don't know, a conditional use permit. I'm not sure which would apply to it.
Okay, I see, yeah, so that lines up with the same, with the tower height too, so that makes sense, okay? Thanks, that's all I had.
Sure, okay. All right, let's move on then to, we also have a link here for the comprehensive plan. And, any, discussion about that?
Just a link.
Okay. Brings us down to item 7, citizens' comments. This
Oh,
is,
no,
the
We
limited.
have one more, the email link.
Oh, okay, sorry. Forwarded email to personal address. Or the link
There,
for-
earlier, we had sent you an email from our IT Van Dyke, and he is now coming back. They're setting the email system that ended that. And once he gets all of the information, he'll forward that to community development, and we will in turn forward that to you guys so that you'll be able to forward your KIB planning emails to your personal emails. We just can't do it yet.
Thank you. So that then brings us to citizens' comments. Limited to 3 minutes per speaker. The local phone number is 907-486-3231. Toll-free number 855-492-9202. Comments are for general topics only. Any citizens' comments? Wait for a moment in case anyone's watching or listening. I don't think we're having anything, so we'll move on to the public hearing section. We have case number 22-009. The applicant is Holy Resurrection Church, and they're seeking our approval for a rezone. Could we get a motion, please?
Move to recommend that the Assembly approve the rezoning of USS 444 Tract A, Lot A from industrial to business, and to adopt the findings of fact found in the staff report dated February 16th, 2022, in support of this recommendation.
Is there a second?
Second.
You have staff report, please?
Good evening, Commissioners. Staff report for case 22009, request from the Holy Resurrection Church to rezone property US Survey 444, Track A, Lot A, Mission Road. The request is to rezone from industrial to business. I give a brief summary of the rezone request. The rezone, the USS 44 Track A Lot A was rezoned to industrial in sort of a, call it a group rezone. When the request was made by the Corporation for the Catholic Bishop of Anchorage to rezone USS 444 Track A Lot B to industrial. When the ordinance was passed, it merely said Tract A, and therefore all 4 tracts of Tract A were subsequently rezoned to industrial. The church, the Holy Resurrection Church, did not request this rezone to industrial. Industrial zone has restrictions where the church cannot expand, and if the church were destroyed for some reason, they wouldn't be allowed to rebuild in an industrial zone. So churches are not permitted, nor are they conditional uses in an industrial district. So the Holy Resurrection Church is asking to be rezoned to business so that they can then apply for a conditional use permit and then become a legal structure and a legal use inside a business district. There are no conflicts with the comprehensive plan, and the borough staff recommends that the Planning and Zoning Commission support a recommendation report to the Assembly to rezone from industrial to business.
Any questions for staff? Nope. Seeing and hearing none, I will then close the regular meeting and open the public hearing. If anyone would like to speak on this matter, please come to the podium and turn the microphone on and sign in if you haven't already done so. Not. And I guess I'll give the local number again. It's 907-486-3231, toll-free number 855-492-9202. Nothing seems to be happening, so I'll close the public hearing and reopen the regular meeting. Any commissioner comments or discussion? You hear none? Oh, Mr. Van Dyke, go ahead.
I was gonna wait and see if somebody else wanted to go first. So we talked about this at the work session. I appreciate the staff report. I appreciate the recognition that this was probably rezoned in error. There was discussion about the cost of the rezone and that the fee was waived. Again, I went back to Borough Code and I didn't see anything that would substantiate the director waiving the fee, and whether that's been a past practice for previous directors, that may have been done. But I can't find anything in the code that substantiates that. So I would like to amend the motion to that, and for the commission to recognize that this was done in error and to waive the fee for the application for the rezone.
We need a motion first before we can amend anything.
Mr. Cross made the main motion, and so
Just,
Before we opened up for public hearing.
yeah, it's motion as stated in the staff report, the initial paragraph of the staff report
Okay.
was the main motion.
Okay, gotcha, thank you.
And so what I see in the application is that the commission, upon its own motion, may waive the fee. So,
Second to that,
Second it.
any discussion? I think it's just, go ahead, Mr. Paulson.
If Commissioner Van Dyke can just say what the new motion is, just so I can get it clear. I didn't fully understand, I guess.
so my motion was to waive the application fee for the rezone based on staff's report that the rezone was done in error in previous years.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, let's have a roll call on the motion to amend.
Ms. Johnson? Yes. Mr. Neff?
Yes.
Mr. Paulson?
Yes.
Mr. Van Dyke?
Yes.
Mr. Kennison?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Cross?
Yes.
Would anyone like to change their vote? Motion carries.
All right, so the main motion is now before us. Any discussion, further discussion or questions about it? Let's have a roll call vote and then on it, please.
Mr. Cross?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson? Mr. Neff?
Yes.
Mr. Paulson?
Yes.
Mr. Van Dyke?
Yes.
Mr. Kennison?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Would anyone like to change their vote? Motion carries.
Thank you.
7-0.
Brings us down to abbreviated and final approvals, subdivisions, item 12 on the agenda, but there's nothing there. So how about director's comments? Huma?
So I did get emails back from Mr. Van Dyke, Mr. Neff, Ms. Johnson, Mr. Paulson, and on the conference and the training, only Mr. Kennison.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's during the day, right? I have to,
No, well, so the training is on Sunday. They're
Yeah, Sunday.
both on Sunday, one
I didn't read that
in
carefully
March
enough.
and one in April.
okay. Yeah.
So if you'll just let me know tomorrow.
You can sign me up. That'd be great.
Okay.
Just do it.
So then you have all your new commissioners going to the
Very good.
training. Thanks.
Very good.
That's all I have.
Okay. We don't have staff comments on here. Do you have any comments, Frank?
I don't have, I just wanted to get a clarification for the folks in Parks and Rec. Is the Parks and Rec committee meant to meet during the day? I don't know if we've talked about that, or if it's an evening meeting.
You don't have a quorum right now. You don't have enough members to have any meetings.
Yeah, but are they typically during the day, or are they evening meetings? 'Cause that
They're
would be
typically
important.
during the day.
Yeah, okay. Just wanted to get that out there for folks, that they're daytime meetings.
There were evenings when I was on it, but that's been a while. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe you guys can work that out when they get a quorum then.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have any other comments, other than I was hoping to see Father Innocent, and I'm sure he'll be really glad to hear that you guys were able to pass this on to the assembly.
Yeah,
So
thank
thanks.
you. All right, brings us to citizens' comments. Limited to 3 minutes per speaker, local number 907-486-3231, toll-free number 855-492-9202. Any citizens' comments? It appears that there are none. So commissioners' comments. We'll go to the left here. Mr. Van Dyke, you have any comments?
Just a short meeting, thanks.
Mr. Kennison?
Nope, nothing.
All right. Mr. Neff?
No, I'm good, thanks.
All right, thank you. Mr. Paulson?
So last time I gave some facts on our planning and zoning in Kodiak. R1 was, and this is just looking at the local Kodiak area. I've never actually been to any of the villages, so I'm not sure what those are actually like. But for R1, there are 829 parcels, totaling 196 acres. For R2, there are 1,113 parcels, totaling 372 acres.
Thank you.
We'll have more next time.
Right. Ms. Johnson, you have any comments? Did you say no? Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Cross?
Just one, this is the first time I think we've ever had 7 members.
It's
Takes a long time to do a vote.
kind of drags out the meeting.
Yeah, it's making them way too long. No, that's it.
All right. I just have one that's kind of for staff. I appreciate getting the email and the reminders for the meetings, but this is twice now when there's been that RSVP selection. And I have hit that RSVP, and then it just goes away. The whole email, it's not there anymore. And because it would have the link were I to be trying to attend. So it's a quirk that
It's all in your calendar. It goes to your calendar from your email. So that your calendar will remind you that you have the meeting.
All right, well, I don't tend to use my busy calendar. Right, and, I just concur with Mr. Cross here. It's nice to have 7 folks here. So, I think that then, let's see here, I got some announcements. Next work session scheduled for March 9th, 2022 in the Assembly Chambers here, 6:30 p.m. The next regular meeting scheduled for March 16 at 6:30 p.m. Here in the Assembly Chambers. Oh, with that, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, we are adjourned then at 6:53 p.m. Thank you.